What is up, everybody? Robbie here with Bald and the Bearded. Today I'm joined along with someone who is not bald, nor is she bearded, but this is my wife, Holly. I know you've been introduced to her before, but with this whole coronavirus pandemic BS that's going on, we have been quarantined to our house. Today, like I said, joined along with Holly, we're going to be talking about some movies that we've watched since we've been quarantined. One of those is going to be Onward, and the other one's going to be Birds of Prey. One I liked, one I didn't, and we're gonna talk about that. All right. So first, we're gonna talk about Onward. What did you think of Onward?
I liked it. It was not my favorite Pixar movie at all.
And that's where we disagree, because this was my favorite Pixar movie.
Oh, really?
Or at least top two.
I thought there were some places where it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And there were some things that made me mad about it.
What made you mad?
Well, you gotta give the spoiler.
So we will be talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen Onward or Birds of Prey, don't watch this. This is going to be spoiler free because we're quarantined and we just don't care.
Okay.
So what did you not like about it?
So I did not like how, the whole movie they're building up to the fact that this younger brother didn't get to know his dad. And so I really kind of expected some kind of a feel-good payoff moment with that, but at the end you just don't get that.
You get that in spades. That's what I don't get, is he had a list of everything he wanted to do with his dad that he did not get to do. And as he's going on this quest with his older brother, he realizes that his dad has been with him the entire time through the big brother. And so you see him, he's like, learn to drive. And when the pixies or the fairies are attacking him, he marks it off because his dad instilled into the older brother his lessons, and his big brother instilled those same lessons to him. And the big brother's the biggest regret in his life was being too scared to go see his father on his deathbed. And he didn't get that chance. And he realized that through his entire life, he did get to have those moments with his father, just through his big brother. And he knew that his big brother was going to carry that weight with him his entire life. And he gave up his only chance to really meet his father. Are you crying? Am I making you cry?
A little bit.
He gave up his only chance to meet his father so his brother can get rid of his only regret. It's a beautiful thing.
He wouldn't let me talk about it with him. He's such a jerk. He's like, do it for the podcast, baby. He literally would not let me talk to him about it. We watched it like a week ago. I have a terrible memory when it comes to this.
I did it!
I'm a very emotional person. Anyway. I don't know. I guess I wanted to
This is awesome. Continue. See, I told you, it does grip you on the heartstrings.
It does. I freaking hate Pixar.
That's the beauty of that movie, is I felt like this was, if Jack Black was to direct a Pixar movie, this would be what it kind of feels like. It's one of those, you have the old like rock style van, and the older brother, it's kind of has that Jack Black-esque to him. And I just thought that it was, with technology, and it also kind of has another underlying layer to it with everybody becoming fixated on technology. The magic was being left behind. And the brother, who they thought was a screw-up, talked to the pixies, why do you need motorcycles? Why do you need this when you guys can fly? Or with the centaur, he's like, why do you need a cop car when you can run 60 miles an hour? And as the movie progresses and they go on their quest to find their dad, the big brother is not as big of a screw up as people think.
Yeah.
And that the screw up part is a big a big part of the movie as well. And like I said, this is up there in the Pixar movies for me. I think Coco is my favorite, and this one's probably my second favorite, but they are extremely close. What are some other things that you did like about Onward, if you can pull your emotions together?
I'm fine now. Like, I don't know if we said that Tom Holland played the younger brother. Did you realize who played the older brother?
Mm-mm.
So I didn't either during the movie, but then out of curiosity, I went to go look it up later, and it was Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, okay, I
Which,
can see that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really surprised I didn't pick up on that because we like Chris Pratt a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was perfect for the role. And then something else I started to say to you, and you like wouldn't let me share with you because you're a jerk.
It's made for a good podcast. You don't understand how these work.
But is the fact that the step parent child relationship, you really like Disney, I think, is famous for casting step parents in a horrible light, like the evil stepmother.
Yeah.
And you really don't ever get a stepfather in any movies, but just the fact that that step parent, the Centaur guy, I forgot his name.
Centaur.
I don't know. Whatever his name was. Like, you saw that he was actually trying to, you know, be a good parent and kind of step
in his way.
Right. He was trying to support their mother and help her to find her kids and make sure they were okay. And, you know, I don't know, in one moment he kind of seemed like he was a little bit bad.
At the beginning, because, you know, he's a cop, but he's also trying to be the stepdad.
Yeah.
And, you know, he comes in, he's like, why is it every time there's a complaint I find myself, you know, coming to you?
Yeah.
And, you know, he has to be this kind of a hard A, but at the same time trying to be the stepdad. And, you know, he comes in and he's kind of making a mess of things because he's a centaur. You know, it's kind of hard to be discreet with that. And, you know, he does the working hard or hardly working.
Yeah, he's corny.
Super corny, which I loved. And as you talked about, you know, as you see them progressing in the story, you know, the brothers kind of take a different turn on the stepdad. And at the end, when everything's kind of come together and everything's come to fruition, you see him come in and they're like, he comes in and he goes, working hard, and the kid's like, hardly working. And he goes,
yeah. I think it's just good that they kind of cast a positive light on step parents, because what I was starting to say the other day when you cut me off was that Disney is kind of beginning to represent families as they are now.
Right.
Versus, you know, back in the 50s or whatever, most families were, you know, two parents, not divorced, you know, so
right.
Families are different now. The family dynamics have changed.
And we even saw them branch in. But we had a gay character in this one.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it's really cool to see them kind of stepping into this light.
The modern age.
The modern age. I know a lot of people aren't on board with that, but
I don't feel like it was too in your face to
right.
where
A lot of people are saying
you would be offended.
Right. People are like, you know, I don't want this forced on me. I felt like it was very subtle. It was very cool to see.
Yeah. And if you're a little kid, you may not even notice it, but
right.
That's one of the for the grown-ups kind of things.
Right, and I thought it was cool. Overall, thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought that Pixar did a really good job, you know, instilling those life lessons. You know, don't get caught up in the future when you could be living in the now. And if you really sit down and talk, you can actually realize that heartfelt moment that you were searching for was truly there, but you just didn't see it.
Yeah, stop trying to make me cry.
And it was, like I said, a beautiful movie. Now, moving on to a not beautiful movie, a flaming pile of garbage, doo-doo, whatever you want to call it, Birds of Prey. I hated this movie.
I didn't know you hated it that bad.
It was garbage. It made me laugh a time or two, but it's on the level of Suicide Squad. I do not know what it is about these two movies that are just not great, and this is where me and Holly disagree. She loves Suicide Squad. And how did you like Birds of Prey?
I love Suicide Squad, but it was not the same as Birds of Prey. Like, I didn't feel like it was a very worthy follow-up to that.
No.
First of all, Suicide Squad had a lot of actors that I really like. Will Smith, some other people I can't think of. I have a terrible memory.
She likes Will Smith, Margot Robbie.
Something else I really liked, but I don't know. I fell in love with Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, and I really liked her look in that movie, and I thought it was fun. Like, everywhere you looked was Harley Quinn in that look.
Right.
You know, Halloween. It was just a very popular.
Right, and it's the new modern look for Harley Quinn, which I don't mind. Obviously it's not the old school comic or animated movies Harley Quinn that we got, but I don't dislike it. Now the Joker, that's a whole other story. I did not like the new Joker, but
Leto.
yeah, she does.
Yeah, I liked it.
But
I mean, for what it was, there is some hot competition for being the Joker. Like Heath Ledger. I mean, at that time you didn't have Joaquin Phoenix, but now Joaquin Phoenix. You know, like that's one of those iconic roles that you're always gonna face flack for portraying it. If you take his performance in and of itself for what it was, I liked it. I'm not saying it was like Oscar worthy or anything, but I didn't hate it. But again, I'm not a purist, and I don't know all the stuff you know about.
Out of the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of the 6 Jokers, he's the 6th Joker for me.
Yeah.
There's just.
I like the gangster. It went with the movie to me. Like,
right, and I understood that that's where they were wanting to go with it, is that new kind of, the gangster feeling vibe for it. I just couldn't wrap, and I'm not a purist.
They didn't do him any favors either by cutting out like half of his scenes. I don't know if they were garbage or what. I've never been able to see them.
Well, the movie was garbage, so if they cut out those scenes, they must have been really garbage.
His story arc was just like.
Right, and Leto was not.
Just went right.
He was not happy with how
and
that.
I don't think that was fair, because Jared Leto is an amazing actor.
And I agree. I do not have any problems with Jared Leto except for his portrayal of the Joker. But we're getting off track. Birds of Prey. They're trying to find this diamond that is going to. Whoever owns this diamond is going to be able to get the payout of the century. They can buy 30,000 private islands. It's in this diamond, and this little Asian girl decides to swallow it. She's a pickpocket. So the whole movie is Harley Quinn trying to protect / sell this girl to get her life back, because she's broke up with Mr. J. And just from the beginning, I did not care for the movie. I like Margot Robbie, I really do. And I like this portrayal of Harley Quinn, but the movie itself, like I said, this and Suicide Squad, just not equaled up to be a great movie for me. And we watched it 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
And I've already forgotten most of the movie.
I didn't hate it. I think it was okay. Like I said, I liked Suicide Squad a lot better. A big chunk of why I liked Suicide Squad was the soundtrack.
Yeah, it did have
was amazing, and I still listen to it, and I still like it. This one wasn't. It was a lot of female singers, and that's I think that one of the big themes of the movie was like
girl power,
women, and kind of to a degree, women supporting other women,
right?
Women building other women up.
Huntress in it. You had Black Canary. You had that detective, and obviously Harley Quinn. And that's what they were going with. They were trying to not force that. I don't feel like it was forced. I just feel like it just didn't have a good beginning to end. It kind of tied it up into a little bow for us, but overall, I found it lacking what normal superhero movie, like Batman versus Superman, all these different Aquaman, all these movies.
I hated Batman versus Superman.
I
literally fell asleep in the movie theater. I've never done that
and
before.
I put those 10 times better than what Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad are, because they're not the best in the world. But unfortunately, DC has been kind of far behind Marvel, because obviously Marvel's had years and years and years to span out their cinematic universe, whereas DC just kind of came together and like, all right, here we go. We got to fit all of this into this.
Is X-Men DC?
X-Men is Marvel.
Oh. Yeah, because I don't care about those either.
I love X-Men, but Birds of Prey. If you're one of those that just like watching superhero movies, watch it. Check it off your list of superhero movies to watch. But I don't think this is going to be a home run hitter by any means. Once I realized that they were making another movie centered around Harley Quinn, I was very skeptical. I did not come in with high expectations. Like, I could literally step over my expectations, and I still set them way too high for this movie. Do you have anything else to add about Birds of Prey?
No, I didn't know you hated it that bad.
Yeah, me and Dustin, Dustin hadn't watched it yet, and I told him, I was like, just get ready. I was like, I told him it's right on the level of Suicide Squad bad. And he goes, it was worse than Suicide Squad. And I was like, yeah.
Suicide Squad was good, I thought. I know I'm in the minority on that, but
right.
I could have taken
and that's
lead.
like me. I like Batman versus Superman, but I feel like I'm in the minority on that one as well. It's just DC. I'm sorry, you missed out on this one. I love DC. I love Marvel. I want DC to do well. They do. For someone who does so good in the animated world, why can't you make a good movie? Please, please make a good movie.
You're being camera Robbie again. It's weird.
I know. I love it. But yeah, this is what our quarantine life has been. Watching movies.
Oh, we were talking about Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic, the Tiger King himself.
Yeah.
It's a show full of nonsense. Crazy from beginning to end. You can watch an episode and you're like, oh my God, it cannot get crazier than this. And then in that same episode, it gets crazier 3 or 4 different times.
Mm.
Now,
you had never heard of him before.
Well,
I had heard of it because I listened to a lot of podcasts, but I didn't listen to the Joe Exotic podcast, but it was made by Wondery, which has made like Dirty John and Dr. Death and a bunch of really good podcasts that I like to listen to. So I downloaded it, but I just never got to it. So now I want to listen to the podcast.
Right. I did know of Joe Exotic before the show.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Because in my group chat, when he got arrested, that was in Pensacola, we have, there's an inmate by the name of Big Neck. We don't know him as anything else. He's this guy, he literally has a gigantic neck. And at the same time, his mugshot came out a couple days later. Joe Exotic's mugshot came out because he was arrested in the area where we live.
Right?
Yeah, in Santa Rosa County.
Yeah.
And one of my friends sent it to the group chat. He's like, first we get Big Neck, and now we got this crazy guy who goes by Joe Exotic.
When you're watching the show, you're kind of like, oh, this must have happened a long time ago. But then, I was like, no, because I saw this mugshot because he was after Big Neck, which was not that long ago.
2017 or 2018.
Yeah, so this whole timeline was not long ago.
No, it's pretty recent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he was arrested in our area for alleged. He says he didn't do it.
Murder for hire.
Murder for hire. He's hiring a hitman to kill
Carol Baskin.
that bitch Carol Baskin.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah. Nobody in that documentary is without blame. I'll just say that. Carol Baskin is not the saint. And this is just from our perspective of obviously I've not researched into Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic, Dr.
I forget his name.
Antle.
He's the one with all the wives.
Right, Dr. Antle. Yeah, I have not researched into them, but they are all not great people. Carol Baskin, most likely, definitely killed her husband.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like, well, maybe, maybe not, maybe, maybe not. And she's like, well, if you want, that's crazy, because if you want a tiger to eat somebody, you just rub fish oil on them and then they'll eat them. And I was like, wow, she just told on herself.
And she had a power of attorney drafted. And obviously, again, I am not a expert when it comes to power of attorneys, but where I work, I have seen hundreds and hundreds of different people's power of attorneys. Hers was worded where normally it says, if person is deceased, it stops. But if it says deceased or missing,
yeah, that was
that I have. And like I said,
how'd she get him to sign that? I would not ever sign that.
No clue. But it was signed. It was a legal power of attorney. And like I said, looking at hundreds and hundreds of power of attorneys, I have never seen one with that verbiage. And obviously he went missing, so his millions and millions of dollars she has full access to.
Yeah.
Because he's not dead, because the power of attorney is null and void upon death. But, in life and in missing, it said, she has all the abilities to his money.
I felt bad for his kids.
And the previous wife. Yeah.
I don't feel as bad for her as the kids, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it was a crazy mess, and then you have...
Also, Joe Exotic's weird husbands, like the one with 3 teeth and no shirt.
Oh, he got teeth now, which is nice. I guess he got some money from the rights to the show and everything.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy show.
Yeah.
You really don't know what's going to happen next until you see it, and it is baffling.
We had a debate between the two of us. We had to rewind and rewatch the part with Travis.
Yeah.
And what happened to Travis, because when I watch it, and clearly this whole show is spoilers, but this is a spoiler. So Travis winds up killing himself. Well, Robbie thought that Travis committed suicide. I think when it actually happened, it was an accident. Because, he did make some jokes and weird videos about wanting to kill himself. But then in that moment where he had the dude from the Walmart ammo department
the campaign manager.
Yeah, that he had hired to become the campaign manager. You see them in that video, the video surveillance, where they're just kind of joking around. And that guy is legitimately just like, whoa, because you see the flash from the gun,
the muzzle flash.
Yeah, and you know what happened.
What Travis normally does is he'll come in, he'll pull his gun, and be like, "Freeze, mother!" And the guy, the campaign manager, can never remember his name. He's like, "Travis, we've talked. I don't like you pointing guns at me." He's like, "Man, this is a Ruger. It doesn't fire when it doesn't have a clip in." He goes, "See." And then he killed himself.
Yeah, I think it was an accident.
And clearly, I am rewinding back. I had already agreed with you.
But I think you could see it either way.
Right.
Because of the way they built up to it. He was talking about killing himself and kind of joking about it. But I think in the moment when it happened, he actually did have an accident. I think that's what it was.
And you just see the guy. You see the muzzle flash. You just see him. He's like,
yeah.
And he's like, "Travis."
That guy had to have some therapy. That was very traumatic.
It was brutal. They come out with, today is Sunday, or Easter Sunday, April 12th, and there's a new episode out. We have not watched it yet. But
I think Carol Baskin's case is reopened for killing her husband.
They've kind of reopened it. They're trying to get people to come in and give... they know anything, if they have any information, to come forward, but most likely ain't gonna find anything. But
the thing about that show, nobody on there is super smart, but I think she's the most diabolical of them all. And Joe, I think he's sitting in jail just because he's dumb as a box of rocks. He's just dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. And somewhere along the way, he went from, I don't know if he ever really cared about Carol Baskin's husband. Why would he care?
He just wanted to bring Carol Baskin down.
He was crooked too, yeah. But he went from somewhat seeking justice for this to like literally being as bad as she is and on her same level. Because how are you gonna go from like you killed your husband to like I'm gonna pay somebody to kill you?
I really do think he was framed.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff something.
Jeff.
But yeah, he was crooked. He came in, kind of fronted the operation. He didn't have the money that they thought he did, but you know they put the Joe Exotic Tiger Conservation whatever in his name, and then he found a way to get Joe. He ran off to Gulf Breeze of all places, and ended up getting arrested for the murder for hire.
Has to happen in Florida. Although that whole show kind of reeks of Florida Man, but at least they were.
At no point was there a Florida Man except for the
there was
drug.
Kara Baskin. She's from Florida.
Is she? Oh yeah, she's from Tampa.
South Florida.
South Florida, and then you had the drug cartel guy from Miami.
Yeah.
That turned good, maybe. I don't know.
I just have one question in my head because they're talking about how in that fire, all of the footage got destroyed from the documentary that was being made by a dude who looks like
Freddy Krueger.
The guy from Death from Supernatural.
I say he looks like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he does look like him too. But you know, if he was filming all this footage, where did all this footage for the show come from? It just magically appeared.
They might have had some of it backed up.
Maybe Joe was just vain enough to let every second of his life get filmed. It was really weird.
Because they think that Joe Exotic is the one that burned it.
Yeah. But we're almost gonna be out of time.
So, well, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by. This was fun with doing it with me and Holly. If you have any questions, please ask, like, share, subscribe, comment. We love you guys. Peace.